Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Let me tell you something. Errol Spence is about to lose to Terrence Crawford. If you don't know, well, now you know. I'm telling y'all, Errol Spence can't win. Matter of fact, let me put my camera on. Right, let's understand something here. Okay. Where we at? All right, there we go. Okay, look, y'all need to understand what just happened here with Errol Spence. What Errol Spence did was he took a stance today, and I just think by Errol Spence calling out participants in the secret society. And when the participants I'm talking about, sanctioning bodies. Let me tell you something. That was a mistake. Now, for those of you out there who are saying, Hood, here you go, with the conspiracy theories. Here you go reaching. I'm going to tell you, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. We know where it comes to who's committed corruption and fraud in boxing. We know that there's a lot of participants, and we also know that there's been evolution of the regulations and everything when it comes to boxing. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, for the most part, and I think you guys would agree, the secret society does what they want, and if they want to take 3% of your purse for each one of those belts you have, you don't have to do it. You can give up the belt. And I'm telling y'all right now, when Errol Spence challenged them and he said, hey, what are y'all doing with the money? You know who responded? It was Suleiman, because he's the most vocal and he's probably the most corrupt. But those other sanctioning bodies, they're not saying nothing because they move a kind of way. They'll sit there, man, and Josh Taylor, Errol Spence. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Errol Spence put himself in a horrible position. He basically, by saying, hey, I need to know what's going on with that money, this 3% you're taking, what he basically did was announce to the whole world. Remember, there are a lot of different eyes on boxing right now. Hell, on this channel, we talk about it. Secret society, corruption, these different conferences that they have where you got the damn referees there, you got the judges there, you got the sanctioning bodies there, you got the commission there, all the right people there, the promoters are there, all the right people there for palms to get greased and whatever fights they want made to get made and whoever they want to win to make sure that they win. So we know corruption exists, but with all the eyes on this fight, Errol Spence has a very loud voice. And what he did today is he basically, by asking that question, he kind of poked the bear. And I would say he basically accused them of not doing the right thing with the money, because that's how Suleiman responded, and he didn't like it. And let me tell you, the last thing these sanctioning bodies want are to have attention on them. And my thing with Errol Spence, right? Look, if you want to know what's going on with your 3%, right? Why come out and say it during that press conference? You know, be smart about it. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I personally think there's a little bit more behind where this money for the guarantee, 8 figures for Spence and Crawford, came from. And to him to come out and start talking about this 3%, that's not what the attention does not need to be on money at all. whether it's 3% the sanctioning bodies are getting, or how in the hell, and like a November, like a 7-month turnaround, was Steven Espinoza able to come up with these guarantees. Remember what he was saying last year. Although these fighters may feel that there's a certain market value when it comes to them and their fights, that's just not realistic when you look at the true reality of what kind of support the fans will get and what kind of numbers they'll get pay-per-view wise. And he's saying basically that they were just way off on the numbers. And even with pay-per-view, it's a roll of the dice. Remember, boxing is a business. No one's in it to lose money. So he basically said it's impossible to give each of these guys 20, 25 million apiece. Now, good. And I understand 8 figures, 10 million. But my understanding is it's more like 20, 25. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? You're talking about trying to ways to try to change and make suggestions on ridding the corruption in the sport. It's not by coming out trying to publicly lynch somebody, right? Because there's a lot of different types of fraud and corruption in boxing. And I'm going to tell you this right here, and I think people need to understand. I'm going to read something to you that I thought was interesting. It says, the best way to see the reach and extent of corruption in boxing is to examine those involved in the sport and the avenues that are available to them to commit fraud and corruption. Now, when you're talking about sanctioning bodies, all the avenues are available to them for them to commit any kind of fraud and corruption. The article goes on to say, since detecting fraud and corruption is difficult, particularly for a sport that is international, which boxing is, there is ample room for fraud and corruption to occur. Below are a few examples of international fraud and corruption in boxing, which have included the involvement of organized crime. They include bout fixing, the use of false documentation to hold a fight, breach of contracts, and influence of different sanctioning bodies on boxing commissions and fight outcomes. Now, with a range of different sanctioning bodies and commissions, no one agency appears to have an overarching role in running the sport of boxing, right? Vested interests have prevented the development of an overarching sporting body, which is free from corruption, could document fraud and corruption and banish those committing such offenses from the world of boxing. The existence of a single body, however, is no recipe for success, as we saw in the chapters of football, cricket, and baseball. What this just told you, where it talks about vested interests, have prevented the overarching role in the sport of boxing. There's not going to be an overarching role because the vested interest for all these sanctioning bodies is to make money. And when you, like Errol Spence, come out and you start talking, and you start challenging them, and you start trying to force their hand to talk to you, you're beneath them. That's how they see it. You're nothing but a number to them. That's how they see it, man. So you don't want to cooperate. You don't want to go along with it. Hey, we're all making money, man. Yeah, we want a little bit of your millions. What's the problem? We take care of you. You take care of us. You don't want to take care of us, and you want to come now and pollute the minds of other guys who are champions or potential to be champions. Oh, no, we don't need that. So as a result, we don't need you. And I'm telling y'all right now, if Errol Spence does not get a knockout, he will lose the fight. I'm telling you that. And for those of you saying, man, where's your crystal ball? Because I know it's majority of people are very intelligent people who add to the conversation. But for the handful of you jackasses who want to talk stupid, open your mind and understand what Errol Spence just did. He took a stance. And let me tell you something. You just can't be out here knee-jerking. You understand? Oh, I wonder about this. let me just kind of knee jerk and just Tourette type behavior and spit that out, put it into the atmosphere. You can't do that because it'll backfire on you. Now, I'm gonna tell you this: as far as the participants, let me tell you something, man. Most elements in the boxing world, sanctioning bodies, trainers, managers, promoters, boxers, have been involved in fraud and corruption in some way. But it's the boxer who appears to be the group that has attracted most attention. It's useful to break this down into individual acts of fraud and corruption, even though they are often a combination of acts and collusion between organizations, individuals, but most of the time sanctioning bodies. Sanctioning bodies keeps coming up. Well, at the time this article was written, it said there was almost 9,000 licensed professional boxers in the United States. And while a few enjoy financial success, most are exploited. Boxing is structured in such a way that a fighter has to pay managers, trainers, and licensing fees from his share of the prize money from the match. Corrupt individuals, therefore, can make substantial sums of money from often uneducated and exploited individuals with little of the commercial revenue available beyond a select few. Commercial revenue. So what this is telling you, right? For all of the individuals who have a boxing license, I would say less than a concentric few go on to enjoy handsome financial success. And for those who enjoy handsome financial success, there are a lot of people who have to get paid. But this tells me that there are a lot of people who get exploited and who just don't get an opportunity. So that kind of seems to me like if you can win fights and you can kind of go with the flow, you can get to the pinnacle of the sport. But when you start going against not the grain, the system that puts you in the position that you're in, right? You start going against the system. The system has a way of filtering out those who don't want to conform. And I think Errol Spence messed himself up by showing that he's a nonconformist. And yeah, he's made some money already. But I truly believe Errol Spence stepped on his own toe, put his own foot in his mouth when he came out and decided he was going to question, where's the money going? If you notice, right, we're talking about corruption. Terrence Crawford knows about that secret society. I don't care what you say. Terrence Crawford not going to mess up his money. Crawford already said, look, shit, let's just get this money. We know nothing guaranteed. We don't know how this and that's going to do. Crawford ain't got time to play around. Crawford like, I'm just glad to be getting some money. I ain't worried about the back end and all that. Hey, I come from nothing. I got shot in my head, man. I ain't got time for all this. I got 6, 7 kids, wife, boys, all active. I got a whole family depending on me. Shit, if I can make 10 million, 15, 20, 25 million, I'm cool with that. I ain't worried about making 100. Give me that, I'm rolling. I'm in the breeze. Errol Spence want to come and try to take a stance. Now remember, I'm not saying he's wrong. But what I'm telling you is the timing was bad and he should have never come out publicly and done it. Not while he's still active. Not while he has 3 belts as a unified welterweight champion. And not while he's about to go up for an undisputed distinction against Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence will lose this fight if he can't knock out Terrence Crawford. The secret society is going to tear this man down, and even if he's winning every round, they're going to find a way to give that decision to Terrence Crawford because you don't mess with the secret society's money. It's been over a year and a half since those belts have been defended. Secret society hasn't been getting their money. They were trying to force Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford out of the welterweight division, but those two came together and figured it out and said, you know what, there's no one for us to fight. God damn, they put mandatories on us. The fans are turning on us. We got to do something. They were able to cut the fat come together, have some aha moments, and make the fight. But believe you me, just because the fight's getting made, they want to give each other attaboys like, hey, we're the ones that made it happen. Let me tell you something. This still isn't good enough for those sanctioning bodies in the secret society, because you got over a year and a half. Yeah, I say over a year and a half of this undisputed distinction bout not taking place. You know, if they should have had probably 3 fights by now, you know how much money that is that those sanctioning bodies didn't make off of those belts. Now, you go do the tabulations, and then you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let me tell you something. Don't insult the crocodile before you cross the bridge, Errol Spence. Because now you just insulted that crocodile who was underneath the bridge chilling. He wasn't worried about you about to cross. He laying there relaxing, on his back, bellied up, chilling. But you want to go in there and hit him with a rock. Well, you know what? He done rolled over now. Now he's perked up. Now he got his eyes locked on you, champ. Try across that bridge. See if he don't take a pound of flesh out you. Because that's what I think the secret society going to do to Errol Spence. Y'all watch. If I'm wrong, I'm not going to be wrong. Y'all better pay attention. Do not put your money on Errol Spence. Not because he can't win the fight, because of his natural talent, but because the secret society is on his arse. Simple. Y'all keep cool. Where's our money going? Errol Spence? Mistake. I'm in the breeze.